Welcome to Middle Math Academy, Order of Operations, level number 5. This is part of our Order of Operations differentiated series where there are 5 levels of challenge. Let's go ahead and get started. Our learning target today is I can use the order of operations to evaluate expressions. Go ahead and take a second to rate yourself before we get started. How confident do you feel with our learning target? 1 being the least confident, and 5 being the most confident. At the end of the lesson, we'll come back and rate ourselves again after we've gotten some more practice. Let's take a look at our warm-up. Our warm-up is all about exponents. If you need any exponent practice, make sure to check out level number 1, where we practice exponents the whole video. In problem A, I see 6 squared. Remember, any exponent that is a 2, we call squared. So what this means is 6 times 6, and 6 times 6 is 36. Remember, the biggest mistake I see is students doing 6 times 2. That is not correct. The base tells you what you're multiplying over and over again, and the exponent tells you how many times you're multiplying the same number. Pause the video and complete B, C, D, and E. Then come back to the video once you're done. In problem B, you should have gotten 32. C, remember cubed means to the 3rd power. This, how we would say it out loud, is 3 cubed. You should have gotten 27. And then for problem D, 81. Check your work, fix any errors. Problem E says, Kayla said that 7 squared equals 49. Is she correct or incorrect? Explain. Kayla is correct. 7 squared, or 7 to the 2nd power, is 7 times 7. And 7 times 7 is 49. Now, before we get started on our notes, please make sure to write down everything I'm writing down and to pay special attention to the examples, because this video is not going to go over every single problem. The goal is that we practice together, and that way, when you're on your own, you can independently feel confident. Let's take a look at our notes. Let's take a look at our notes. The order of operations helps us ensure we get the same answer every time by solving problems in a specific order. Make sure you're writing with me. The way we can remember this order is, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. If you ask your parents, they likely learned it that way as well. And please, or the P, stands for parentheses. I want you to write in the little parentheses there. That is our most powerful operation. We are always going to look for parentheses first. Our second most powerful operation is exponents. Let's go ahead and draw a little tiny 4 to remind us about what an exponent looks like. Our third most powerful operation is actually a tie. It's a tie between multiplication and division. Multiplication and division are inverses, so we do whichever is first, left to right, just like you're reading a book. If multiplication and division were superheroes and they versed each other, it would be a tie. Okay, so once again, do whichever comes first. We'll practice that in just a second. And then our least powerful operations are addition and subtraction. They are also tied in terms of powerfulness, and we'll do whichever is first, left to right. So over here, we're going to underline just our most powerful operation. We're not going to solve anything. Okay, so you can kind of think of this as a little checklist. You're always looking for parentheses first. So in this first problem here, do I see any parentheses? Yes, I do. So I'm going to underline 20 minus 5 because we have a parentheses, and that's our most powerful operation. Let's take a look at the next one. Do I see any parentheses? No, I do not. So I'm just going to check that off, and then I'm going to go down the list. Do I see any exponents? Nope, I don't see any of those little tiny numbers. There's an exponent there, but that's not the problem we're on. Okay, so no exponents. Now I'm going to look for multiplication or division. Well, remember this dot means multiply. I see multiplication and division in this problem. So I'm going to do whichever comes first. Listen to what I say first when I read it out loud. 24 divided by 6 times 1. Did I say divide or times first? I said divide. Division came first, so that's our most powerful operation. Now in this third example, do we have parentheses? Nope. Do we have exponents? Nope. But I do. Once again, I have multiplication and division. So which one comes first in this case? Well, 2 times 6. Okay, so in this case, multiplication came first, so that is our most powerful operation. Pause the video and underline the most powerful operation in these 3 examples, then come back to the video. In this example at the top, you should have underlined 5 squared. That is a step in itself because we have to do 5 times 5. Remember, this does not mean 5 times 2. In this next example, parentheses, our most powerful operation. And then in this third example, okay, so all we have here is addition and subtraction. Okay, they are tied in terms of their powerfulness, so we have to do whichever is first. 15 minus 5 plus 5. I said minus first, so that is our most powerful operation. Let's practice with some examples. Let's take a look at some examples. A really good practice to do when solving order of operations is to write out PEMDAS for every problem and use it as a checklist. So the way we're going to write PEMDAS is P at the top for parentheses, then our second most powerful operation, exponents. Then you're going to write M and D next to each other because multiplication and division are equally powerful. And then you'll write A and S next to each other because addition and subtraction are also equally powerful. I want you to go ahead and write PEMDAS for all of the examples on page 1, A, B, C, and D. Pause the video if you need more time. Great. Now let's take a look at example A. Order of operations is all about staying organized. We're going to underline the step we're doing, write the answer beneath it, and then bring down everything else. So in example A, the first thing I'm looking for is parentheses. I see that we do have parentheses, so I'm going to underline. I'm going to write my answer beneath what I underlined. 91 minus 54 is 37. And then this is important. Everything I didn't underline, I'm going to bring down super neatly right beneath where it's written. The plus right beneath the plus, 16 beneath the 16, and so on. So now my new problem is 37 plus 16 divided by 4. We're only doing one step at a time. So I'm going to ask myself, what's more powerful, division or addition? Well, division is more powerful. It's higher up on PEMDAS. So I'm going to underline 16 divided by 4, which is 4. Then I'm going to bring down the plus, bring down the 37. Then my last step is 37 plus 4, which is 41. Pause the video and complete examples. Example B. When you're finished, come back to the video. For example B, this should have been your first step, 2 plus 1. I want you to check, did you bring everything down super neat and organized? In your second row, you should have 36 divided by 6 minus 3. Then division is more powerful than subtraction. 36 divided by 6 is 6. Bring down the minus 3. 6 minus 3 is 3. Check your work, fix any errors. Then I'm going to do example D with you, and you'll complete C on your own. For example D, I always look for parentheses first, and we do have parentheses here. Choose a different color. Okay, so I'm going to underline 5 minus 4, which is 1. Then I'm going to bring down everything else right beneath where it's written. Make sure when you write your exponent that it's small and in the top right corner. You want to make sure this doesn't look like 33 because a lot of times things get messy with student work and then you can make an error. So now our new problem is 30 times 1 minus 3 cubed plus 5. Okay, so we did our parentheses. Now I'm looking for exponents. We do have an exponent, so I'm just going to underline the 3 cubed. Remember, 3 cubed does not mean 3 times 3. It means 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. Then I'll bring down everything else. Now we have 30 times 1 minus 27 plus 5. Multiplication is more powerful than addition and subtraction. So I'm going to underline 30 times 1, which is 30. Bring down the minus 27 plus 5. 30 minus 27 is 3. Plus 5, which is 8. Pause the video and complete example C. Come back to the video once you're done example C. Check your work for example C. Once you're done checking your work, go ahead and flip to page 2. Let's take a look at page 2. Go ahead and put a star next to C, D, E, and F. Pause the video, complete page 2, problems C through F, then come back to the video to check your work. Go ahead and pause the video, check your work for problems C through F. Pause the video, complete the rest of page 2 and page 3. Come back to the video when you're ready for page 4. Let's take a look at page 4. Put your finger on problem C. I want to go over problem C because it's a little bit different because we have 2 operations within our parentheses. However, we're always going to start the same way by writing out PEMDAS. Okay, so I know that my most powerful operation is parentheses. Within my parentheses, we have exponents and subtraction. So whenever you have more than one operation in the parentheses, you still take the operations one at a time, and you still follow the order of operations. So what's more powerful, exponents or subtraction? Well, I know exponents are more powerful than subtraction, so I'm going to underline 6 squared. Remember, 6 squared does not mean 6 times 2. That's the biggest mistake I see. It means 6 times 6, which is 36. So under 6 squared, I'm going to write 36. Then I'm going to keep the minus 7 in parentheses. You keep everything in parentheses until there's only one number left. I'm going to neatly, right beneath where it is, bring down the plus 9 and the times 3. Now I'll continue to solve the parentheses until we have one number left. 36 minus 7 is 29. Bring down the plus 9 times 3. I know multiplication is more powerful than addition, so I'll do 9 times 3 is 27. Bring down the plus 29. And 29 plus 27 is 56. Pause the video if you need more time. Pause the video, complete the rest of page 4 and 5. Come back to the video when you're ready for page 6. Okay, we're almost done. Pause the video, complete all of page 6, and make sure to come back to the video once you're done page 6 to just check a couple problems and do one last thing. All right, let's take a look at page 6. Page 6 says, Kayla solved the problem below and made an error. What row did she make an error on? What should she have done instead? So when I see this problem and I look at the problem in row 1, I can see that she underlined the correct first step. Exponents are our most powerful operation. But when I go to row 2, I can see that Kayla, instead of writing 16, she wrote 8. Remember, 4 squared does not mean 4 times 2. It means 4 times 4. So what row did she make an error on? Kayla made an error on row 2. She should have written 16 instead of 8. And go ahead and check your work to ensure that you solve the problem correctly here. I'm not going to go over all of the closing problems, but I want to see if you got the first step correct in each of these. In this problem right here, we have 2 operations within our parentheses. So you should have just underlined the exponent because exponents are more powerful than subtraction. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And then we neatly bring down everything else. Check your work. Did you keep 8 minus 2 in parentheses? If you didn't, you're going to get a different answer. So make sure to fix that. And then in this problem right here, once again, we're just doing the exponent. 3 times 3 is 9. You should have kept the plus 5 in parentheses and brought down everything else. I'm not going to go over the rest of this problem, but we do have one last thing to do. What I want you to do is flip back to page number 1. At the beginning of this lesson, we rated ourselves 1 through 5. Now that you've gotten some more practice, I want you to rate yourself and how confident you feel about our learning target. Now that you've gotten some more practice, 1 is the least amount of confidence, 5 is the most confidence. Thank you for joining us today at Middle Math Academy, Order of Operations, level number 5. This is part of our Order of Operations differentiated series. If you're looking for any additional practice with order of operations, please make sure to check out levels 1, 2, 3, and 4, and have a wonderful day.